everybody. I am going to read some poetry tonight. And I'm kind of basing it on mostly on children. I'm going to show, they're in my little book here. So I can show you pictures that there's a bunch of pictures I kind of put all together of our grandkids. We were down, they're all grown up now, but we were down at the pasture at the home place, and there was a brook there, and it had just rained and it was really running, and so they were having a ball. That's what this one here was looking down into. She was looking down into that water. So that's Cheyenne, by the way. People of action. Non-stop hustle. Life is on the move. They're busy without end to finish anything they choose. Stop and smell the flowers means little to their noses. They smell roses as they go. They sniff the lily in the wind. We watch them rush through life too fast, too far. But would we change anything about who or what they are? Not me. I will watch and clap, yell them on to the next small task. The ones who move too fast in this world find answers, whatever questions they may ask. That one I had a lot of fun with. This is my son, and I read this one before, but it's kind of he kind of got a kick out of it too when he first read it. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you. Where is that baby now? Behind a chair? In the Frigidaire? Neath tinted tablecloth? I've looked in every tiny space. No infant do I find. Alas, what tree is this standing in the abyss? Left where a baby crawled. It eats like a starving animal. It defies my definition. Is this the giant cannibal of fairy tale lore? No. No. How can it be? My son has grown to look down at me. He's rambled on his own. Peekaboo, Ma, where are you? Peekaboo, son, where indeed? You're grown. It's time to leave. Anyway, I didn't really know if I was going to read that or not, but I decided, yeah, I would. Here's a couple of shorties. Now, I'm going to show you this. This is called Roses, but if you look, where is it? There's a head in there. A little blonde head. Right there in front of that red truck. So you can see the arm out there, too. That's my grandson, Brendan. Okay, I asked him to stand out there. He was okay about it. I think he must have been about 5 or 6 then. Roses. Find the brightest of roses hidden among small boughs, petals stretched so the sun soaks the leaves. Is it holy rose of roses? Or is it a fantasy flower, held still for seconds, waiting for a breathless wind? Awaiting another breeze to blow the precious yellow top and spring into a movement of play. His hair was so blonde back then, and I just thought, I love my yellow roses and I love that kid. So this one, okay, this is our granddaughter, Tiffany. She's a mommy now. She was probably about 3 or 4. She's the older sister of this one. This one was later, but the way she's stopping, or she's just been, she just went all the way across there, just like that, with her head up in the air and just kind of strutting. And so I called it Queen of the Lake. A little girl owns that beach, marches its shores. She's the queen of the lake. The spray will obey her every command, her nose held high into the wind. Waves are at her beck and call. Never surrender, sweet child, of your domain, that oneness with all that God has made. I love those kids. I can't get over that. There was one in here about my mom, and that would probably be the last one I do tonight. They went on a trip to Alaska. Here it is. They went on a trip to Alaska back in '99. And Mom's they caught her standing out there, and she's looking at the flowers. But I took license, as a lot of poets do, and I decided she's looking toward home. So I wrote a poem about her looking toward home. Trip home. She glances toward a horizon, mind set on home. But are they back home? How would it have been to stay in Alaska? But no, they made a home in far south, and home is home. The waterfront teases her nose with spoiled, pickled smells of fish and salt water. The mix of flowers in boxes give only a sick sweetness with the rotting fish heads. She appreciates the contrast of beautiful spring flowers to stern fishing port machines. Puget Sound so close, but she will soon gladly return to home, joyfully tell of their travels to all who listen. Dad was stationed in Alaska in the 1950s. My brother was born, let's see, I think they were married in 51. My brother was born in 52. And but that was in New Mexico, because Dad was in the Air Force. He was first stationed in New Mexico. I think that's where he got all his training. And then they shipped him to Alaska, to one of the Air Force bases up there. He wanted to fly. He really wanted to fly. And, well, as he told some people, he wrote, they read it at his funeral. It was a letter he had written to a class thing that he couldn't get to. And he said something about what I ended up flying was an Underwood. An Underwood, I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember, but it's an old style typewriter. His hand was like this. It was misshapen. It was scarred, all like this, because of a fire. They had a camping fire or a cooking fire or something, and he fell into it. 2-year-old, got too close, fell into it, and it burned his hand. They had to do a big graft off. Well, for a kid that age, they took a bunch of skin off his back and grafted it on here. So as he grew, well, the scar on the back grew with him, and this just kind of kept. And he was in his late 60s or early 70s, I think, when he had carpal tunnel surgery. And they said, "What's the deal with your hand?" And he told them, "We can release that. That's just scar tissue. We can release that." And he was like, now I can finally fly a plane. By then he couldn't fly a plane. So he did take some ground lessons, but that was about as far as it got. But I'm sure he had fun with that. Anyway, but they almost homesteaded up there, but they They didn't, because my brother had a lot of allergies and some other medical issues at the time. He outgrew a lot of it. But they were afraid of being too far from a doctor. So, because the only places left to Homestead at the time, you could only get there by airplane. Now, of course, it's different, but anyway, I've had fun with these. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to get a mint. My throat wants to go dry and tickle. But sorry I can't pass some in through here and share them. But yeah, but you know what? I loved where we grew up. I probably would have loved it in Alaska too, but yeah, we were close to Grandma and Grandpa and stuff. But anyway, they got a chance to go with my aunt and uncle back up to Alaska, and my uncle almost got him in trouble. Forgot what I was talking about. Well, whatever. I could run it back and find out, but oh, they got a chance to go. Uncle Harry almost getting him in trouble. They went to, I think it was Anchorage. I think it was Anchorage, not Juneau. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, they went to the Air Force Base. And they asked permission if they could come in and just kind of look around, because Dad had been stationed there. And they said absolutely not, that they were on, that everything was on lockdown, nobody could come in that wasn't stationed there. My uncle said, "You mean this man who served his country right here can't come in and see?" Oh boy, they were getting a little indignant with him. Dad finally just said, "Please, Harry, let's just go." They got along so well, and Dad was, I think they kind of had a sense of pride for each other. But Aunt Loree, Uncle Harry's wife, is Dad's sister, so I don't know that you really cared to know that, but I'm rambling. So that's what happens when you get me to talk. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Love you, and we'll see you tomorrow with a short. And I kind of have an idea, but I don't know if John's going to go for it, so we'll see what happens. Good night.